and remove the palm of your hands from your eyes. So friends, I hope you could reach a deep meditative state with that beautiful music in the background. So, and thanks for the group meditation. It was lovely to have you here. So today I'm going to read some parts of a book. This book is on emotional intelligence. This is part of some books published by HBR, which is the Harvard Business Review. Basically, this book is a collection of articles covering, emotional intelligence. And these articles are then made into chapters. There are about 10 chapters in this book. The first one is by Daniel Goleman, and the heading is What Makes a Leader? So this article was initially first published in 1996. So what Daniel is doing is that has done some research on, trying to understand what type of leaders are very successful. And he says that every business person knows a story about a highly intelligent, highly skilled executive who was promoted into a leadership position only to fail at the job. And they also know a story about someone with solid but not extraordinary intellectual abilities and technical skill who was promoted into a similar position and then soared. So he says that what is the ingredient that makes people successful? So in this article, he's exploring that. He has done a lot of research on that. So I grouped capabilities into three categories: purely technical skills, for example, accounting and business planning or engineering. The second was cognitive abilities like analytical reasoning, so how much logical you are. And the third was competencies demonstrating emotional intelligence, such as the ability to work with others and effectiveness in leading change. When I calculated the ratio of technical skills, IQ, and emotional intelligence as ingredients of excellent performance, emotional intelligence proved to be twice as important as the others for job at all levels. So this is important for any level. He found that emotional intelligence was almost twice as more important compared to the other two categories. Moreover, my analysis showed that the emotional intelligence played an increasingly important role at the highest levels of the company, where differences in technical skills are of negligible importance. In other words, the higher the rank of a person considered to be a star performer, the more emotional intelligence capabilities showed up as the reason for his or her effectiveness. So, what is emotional intelligence? No, as the it's intelligence of emotions, right? So, how best you manage your emotions and how best you understand the emotions of people around you. That is what is emotional intelligence is all about. He says that there are five main components of emotional intelligence. Okay, and I will read, and he has, summarized them by naming the emotional intelligence component. Then he has given a short definition. Then he has said about the hallmarks of that component, the hallmarks meaning the signs, and then he has given an example. So let's look at, and there are five such components. The first three deal with your own emotions, and these last two deal with the emotions of people around you. So the first component is self-awareness. And definition is knowing one's emotions, strengths, weaknesses, drives, values, and goals, and their impact on others. That is the definition he gives for self-awareness. Hallmarks of self-awareness are self-confidence, realistic self-assessment, self-deprecating sense of humor, thirst for criticism or constructive criticism. So you can take criticism, yeah. That is an example. And the example he gives, a manager knows tight deadlines bring out the best or the worst in him. So he plans his time to get work done well in advance. So you are aware that, when you do things in the last moment, you will not perform well. So you perform that work much in advance, well in advance. The second component is self-regulation. And the definition is controlling or redirecting disruptive emotions and impulses. So we are all human beings and we have those emotions, those feelings, and how do we manage them? The hallmarks are trustworthiness, integrity, comfort with ambiguity, and change. And the example is when a team watches a presentation, its leader resists the urge to scream. Instead, she considers possible reasons for the failure, explains the consequences to her team, and explores solutions with them. So that's a very good example of self-regulation. So when the circumstances are not favorable, how do you react? Motivation, that's the third component. And it has a beautiful definition, being driven to achieve for the sake of achievement. So not for any, a big salary or some bonus. That should never be part of the motivation. The hallmarks are a passion for the work itself and for new challenges, unflagging energy to improve, optimism in the face of failure. And the example given is a portfolio manager at an investment company sees his fund tumble for 3 consecutive quarters. Major clients defect. Instead of blaming external circumstances, she decides to learn from the experience and engineers a turnaround. So that's motivation, yeah. Being in love with what you do. The fourth component is empathy. And the definition is considering others' feelings, especially when making decisions. And the hallmarks of this component of empathy are expertise in attracting and retaining talent, ability to develop others, sensitivity to cross-cultural differences. And the example is an American consultant and her team pitch a project to a potential client in Japan. Her team interprets the client's silence as disapproval and prepares to leave. The consultant reads the client's body language and senses interest. She continues the meeting and her team gets the job. So that's, how you understand people's emotions, facial expressions, body language, emotionally intelligent person is easily able to do that. The last component of emotional intelligence is social skill. The definition is managing relationships to move people in desired directions. And the hallmarks are effectiveness in leading change, persuasiveness, extensive networking, expertise in building and leading teams. And the example is a manager wants his company to adapt a better internet strategy. He finds kindred spirits and assembles a de facto team to create a prototype website. He persuades allies in other divisions to fund the company's participation in a relevant convention. His company forms an internet division and puts him in charge of it. So that's how social skill helped him to progress his career. So then in this chapter, of course, he has gone into details of each component, which of course we don't have the time to do it now, but this is in short emotional intelligence and how it can help you in your career. Uh, I would say meditation, breathing is a very good way of building and creating and learning emotional intelligence. So yes, part of emotional intelligence may be because of your upbringing or experiences that you might have in the past because of that, but it can be learned, and certainly empathy and social skills can be developed by meditation, by breathing, what we do, by understanding ourselves, regulating ourselves, being disciplined, what we try to do. So, yes, thanks a lot. Time to share. If you have any feelings, any opinions on this topic, please unmute and go ahead. Yes, Ramji.
Thanks a lot, Nagendra ji. You know, the corporate world in the past, I would say 15 years or so, they started to catch this word, emotional intelligence. Earlier, this was not so evidently present. And as I was searching for a relevant image in order to put on the YouTube this stream, the image that came was a balance, that we check the weight. And on one side, there was heart, and on the other side, there was brain. So it is simply giving the whole essence of the topic. And the world, even without effort, pushes since we are born in order to gain weight on the brain side, on memory, on repeating things, on understanding things, logical things. So those are by default we are taught, we learn. And while the emotional intelligence had been part of the society, family experiences, and depending on what is given more importance, because in the recent times, family, society, everything is given importance on career, earning, materialism, which means in a way directing more towards the brain. And this had caused deep disturbance in this balance between the heart and the brain, because success can never be enjoyed if the heart is not present there in the right balance. So what does it matter even one is becoming a CEO, but he cannot experience that success or every experience, but continuously finds a lack. So emotional intelligence is greatly catching up. And meditation, I can say, is a greatest tool in order to recognize and connect to the heart. You see, it's a constant practice that we do. We are with the brain, the thoughts, then we bring to the heart, the breath. So without we becoming consciously aware, we are trying to balance and bringing this from the brains to the heart. And this is the perfect practice to bring in emotional intelligence into people, because by nature we are heart beings, and by force we have become brain beings. So now we are now, by practicing being with the breath, we are bringing that weight in order towards the nature's balance of being heart. And I'm sure of this, that as we move ahead into the decade, because of the technology, the artificial intelligence, the required effort on the brains would go down, because we would depend more on the technology. Any problem now, most of the problems, most of the things outside world, including in the hospitals, AI is helping, which means people will focus more on the emotional aspect of living and less on the intelligence aspect of being. So this is going to be a great turnaround, and we can see that, all these Harvard universities, big multinational companies, they are now investing a lot on this emotional intelligence. There is no big company which doesn't speak about this, which doesn't put effort on mindfulness. So this is all going towards a greater change in this world. So although it seemed like a business topic, but no, this is truly a heart topic. So companies are recognizing this. If they need to make money, it is not through the brains, but through the heart. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rameshji. Wonderfully summarized as always. And yeah, the image you said about the balance, which is so important between the brain and the heart, and it's, you cannot have actions, you cannot lead to some results if you rely only on, let's say, empathy or social skills, because in that case, things won't move ahead. So you need to have a balance between, depending on the situation. If you have, for example, a merger between companies where you have to get rid of people, you need particularly stronger empathy and social skills. Whereas if you want to turn around a sick company, you need a very forceful leadership style, where you have more of your analytical skills, your intelligence, technical skills. So very correct. There has to be a right balance, and you beautifully picked up on the point that now with more and more time on hand because of use of technology, people are focusing more on emotional well-being, emotional, mental health and happiness, and getting the rewards. If you have a very happy employees, the profits are soaring. So because people give more than 100%, 110% in that case. Whereas if you don't keep your employees happy, they might be highly skilled, highly intelligent, very well, read and big degrees, but if they don't give, on the other hand, they might even sabotage your actions. So it's a big loss for the company. So it's so important. Thanks a lot. Yes, Vindhya ji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Nagendra ji, for wonderful meditation and this great topic. Like Ram Garu summed it up very well. I mean, though it sounds like a business topic, it definitely has a lot to do with the heart side, and it connects, meditation connects there, and we see the need for meditation coming up a lot. Um, and you said it too, right? The higher the job, like, the CEO, they deal with a lot of emotional decisions, and when they fire and hire, and lot goes on there, rather than the technical part of it. It's more emotions, and I we see a lot of these people with higher profile jobs. They are the ones who need this meditation to balance that emotion. So great need. And with technology changes nowadays, with AI and everything, emotion is the side we have to depend. And also, I'm doing a book, Ikigai, right now, and there also I see this, like, all these, we have to balance between everything. When you pick something that you are good at and you get paid, it's just a profession, but that's not enough. You have to also have the passion to do, like, you have to love it, and it should be useful for the world. And all those things together, they called ikigai. It's like the purpose has to come up. So uh, and when I've also noticed, when people are hiring nowadays, they just don't hire based on your skills and all. They see personality mapping also. Like, this person's personality, does it match my personality? Like, the company's uh, perspectives and personalities. So there's a lot more how we emotionally handle things. So, and meditation will definitely has to be practiced by companies too for their employees. It definitely is gainful. So thank you for bringing this up. Great topic.
Thank you, Vindhya ji. Very good addition to the topic. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's also very, very satisfying and helpful if you are aware of all these topics, especially self-awareness, self-regulation. And you have to, when you talk about self-awareness, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses? You have to be very honest in this assessment. And then, once you're a self-aware person, I think your relationships with other automatically improves because you know what your limitations are, you know what your strengths are, you know where you can help people. Self-regulation, you don't waste time, you know where to stop, when, on what to indulge in. So all these are so very, very important for yourself. It's not just having a great career or soaring high or going up and getting promotions. Yeah, that is all. I think that's all a byproduct. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's part of the life. You have to take it as it comes. But most important part of emotional intelligence is your own satisfaction. You yourself are in a happy place. You are very comfortable with people, especially people who are completely opposite to you. That's difficult to learn, and we have to internalize these components of emotional intelligence. We have to internalize this, and for that, meditation, there's no other tool available in the market. Nobody can teach you that. If you want to internalize it, you have to meditate. There's no other way. So that's at least what I have learned in the last 1.5 years since I've been meditating. This is the only solution for having great emotional intelligence, understanding our emotions and understanding people's emotions. And if you have that feeling of oneness, that's it. You have reached it.
Yeah, very true. Definitely. And that self awareness and, mindfulness, all that comes from meditation, and that's what is needed. So thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Veronica ji, for the message. Yes, friends, anyone else? It's a great topic. Some experience, some sharings, some additions. Okay. If no more additions, thank you for being part of the meditation today, group meditation. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, great evening. Bye.